Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. However you are turning up this evening, it's just totally fine. I'm wondering if we have a host this evening. Oh, we do. Shayla, there you are. Okay, cool. And if you're sitting at your desk, really try and connect with your feet on the floor. Try and connect with the earth that is supporting you. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just try and bring yourself inwards. So for today, for me, it was a lot of people, some of whom I haven't seen for a while. So there's a lot of mental stimulation. So we have days like this. It's always really good at the end of the day before we go to bed to just go inside and just reflect a little bit. So this is what this practice gives us the opportunity to do, gives us a bit of space. So just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the head, shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And notice the sensation of the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. Maybe you can focus, if you wish, on the sensation of the breath as the chest rises and falls, the belly. And then just be aware if there are any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Then again, bring the mind back to the breath. And just notice what thoughts are arising. So maybe your mind feels just busy and full of lots of things, faces, images, tastes, sound. And that's okay. You can just allow all those things to arise and to abide, and then just let them go. You might be hanging on tight to a situation. So allow the thoughts, the stories that are informing your emotions, how you're feeling physically. Just allow them to bubble to the surface. If you're creating a story, you might like to remind yourself that it might not happen the way you're projecting. So you can just put all of that onto a nice white fluffy cloud and just let it roll away, let it float away. So just watching the mind without any interest in any kind of outcome, just watching with curiosity. And put ourselves on the bank of our river and just watch it flow on by. Notice the quality of the water. Is it clear? Is it rough? And then bring to mind all the people of your life, so your loved ones, beloveds, people who are very important to us in our life. And then there's those people in our lives who we're having a little bit more difficulty with. And then there's strangers. Keeping in mind these relationships that we think are fixed and permanent will change. They can even change place. So it's always good every day to remind ourselves of impermanence in some way. This too will change. And then remember that all these people are equal despite our different feelings. They're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. and having this extraordinary capacity for enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension for all sentient beings. And I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and we can change that by creating positivity with our mind. And we purify by applying these 4 opponent powers in the context of Vajrasattva. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on our logic of karma, this logic of karma. And given we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering we ourselves will experience because we know from our present suffering that we don't want any more of that. So it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want this suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So here we have our beautiful image of Vajrasattva. So you just imagine that this image is a light body above the crown of your head. So facing the same way as you. And it's this Vajrasattva is radiating light, made of light. So you can also think that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. You're sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, quite youthful yet ageless. His eyes are long, they're shaped like lotus petals, and they're very peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. His arms are crossed at his heart. In this image, they're a little bit open, but it's the general way you will see this Buddha depicted. The left is underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone maybe you've harmed recently, in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who have harmed you, and we'll have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to ripen for them as suffering in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So Vajrasattva, imagine, very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose or a waterfall or a strong shower, so it comes quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and into your crown and pours into your entire body. So we're purifying the body now, and fills you completely, and it keeps pouring into you, until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is a purification of your speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the inappropriate speech and ineffective speech, lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others with your speech. And now the purification of the mind. Vajrasattva very compassionately again sends beams of light from his heart chakra, and these arc around and into your crown and fill your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on that switch, and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and violence and depression and resentment and jealousy, bitterness and grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So now is the purification of even those imprints, very, very subtle, whatever it is that's left behind, residue. And imagine it's like energy. So imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. And here we make a decision to not harm with our body, our speech, and our mind. And of course, we're human, and we're going to make a decision not to harm. And then because we've got habits, we'll just trip up over ourselves. We'll say that thing we didn't really mean to. We'll allow an angry story to kind of take off in our mind for maybe a little bit of time before we realize where we are and want to stop it. So we just pull ourselves back a little, go inside, settle our heart, and think about what it is we'd like to refrain from doing. It becomes an aspiration. It's determination. It's like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in different directions. So Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, a little bit about emptiness. So just think, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level your mind understands emptiness, however you understand it, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way the things are appearing to me and not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So here tonight, because it's His Holiness's birthday is coming up, just think very, very strong prayers for this extraordinary being to continue to have a long and active life, to continue to be able to serve all the sentient beings that His Holiness is serving, taking care of. And we just make strong requests and prayers for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for all of our teachers, to whoever is your teacher, make a strong request in your heart for them to live long. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you so much. There's a name there, Shield, I don't recognize. So I'm just wondering, hello, welcome.
Hi.
And I hope you enjoyed that. And please come back. It's great to have you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Lots of love, everybody. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks for hosting, Shayla. Thank you. Bye.